All right, what up, Nikki? Thank you for playing and testing. Your feedback was really good. I gained a lot of knowledge from your feedback, and yeah, I think we've got like a really fun game here, man. I think that we're going to be able to. I think this is going to definitely be our best game yet. I feel like it appeals to. The easy mode will appeal to more casual types, and it'll make it easier for them to get into the harder modes, and then we'll have normal mode and hardcore mode for people who really want to challenge. Plenty of unlocks with the perks and stuff like that, and the game seems to be pretty balanced fairly well. And I still have a lot of little tweaks that I need to make. But anyway, on to this. I did this little tween here. I think it's pretty cool just to kind of liven it up. And I agree, I totally would want a little bit more action here. Now, what we could probably do is if you wanted to just send me these mines separate and individually, 1, 2, 3, and I'll kind of place them in there as actors. If you wanted to do the animation yourself, I'm completely fine with that. If you wanted to add some transparency and just give these a little bob up and down, that would be awesome. That would save me a little bit of time. If not, I'll take the static sprite and I'll put a little loop on it that makes the Y speed go up and down. So these guys can be done as actors. I was also thinking that as far as these clouds go, if you could actually... we'll have to end up doing this, completely redoing this background in a few layers then. Taking the cloud layer out completely and giving it to me separate. And then I'll put that in all the way into the background and then put a little parallax, speed on it. Real small. I'd probably do it at like 3 or -3, make the clouds go this way very slightly. But the one problem with that is we'd have to make it so this background can loop. So you can see right here where this cloud will get cut off, and as it starts scrolling, it'll look cut off. So you'd have to kind of tweak this a little bit to make this cloud maybe kind of go out to here and just kind of finish itself off, and that cloud looks like it's 100% done behind that. So the clouds just need to be formed 100% to make sure that they will scroll. Also, what I was thinking to really make this cool is giving the humanoid himself a little bob up and down. So then the humanoid himself could get cut out of this. I'm not going to go crazy with making him really animated. I just want him to kind of bop up and down, but maybe we can make his little fire a little animated. I don't know how difficult that's going to be, but like nothing crazy. We could just make this fire kind of go in and out a little bit, or even just kind of blink a little bit. So if, when someone comes up to the screen here, they see the clouds scrolling very slightly, and then these mines having a little bob up and down, and then they see our humanoid, bobbing up and down a little bit. So then in reality, this whole thing would be made up of the regular core background, and then the cloud background, and those would not have the mine or the humanoid on them, and then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separate actors. We'd have the 3 mines and then the humanoid actor on here. Now, one thing also I wanted to, and let me know what you think about that. I think if we're going to add a little bit of movement to the background and stuff, it would be really cool to have a little bit of movement into the humanoid. Like I said, I don't think we need to go crazy and have his arms kind of bob up and down or anything like that. And I mean, it's completely up to you if you want to go nuts with it and see how you can get him to look really cool. But I'm completely fine with just giving him a little bob up and down, and then having his little jetpack kind of it doesn't even have to go in and out. It can just kind of twinkle a little bit, just something a little bit to make it look like it's not 100% static. And you can do the same thing with these mines too if you wanted to make this little red thing blink. Again, this is all stuff that I don't want to go crazy as far as taking a huge amount of your time away. So if you're Eric, that's a pain in the ass, let's just do this, that, or the other, you let me know what's the easiest way. Also, one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add in the sound effects button, and I wanted to add in the music mute button right on the title page. Players, especially congregate players, really want to make sure that the mute and sound buttons are easily accessible at all stages of the game. A lot of those players play with their headphones on and immediately pitch a fit if they don't have the options to mute the game or turn the sound effects off. So I want to, and I might even do a screen even before this that even asks the player if they'd like to play muted. So that being said, the reason I'm bringing it up is I think we want to redo and give me another version of our sound effects buttons. The same color as our play button, the orange. And I'll of course keep these in here. I think just to make it all match in the beginning title screen, if I just had these buttons. Although I don't know, I'm going to put these in here. I mean, definitely, who knows, it might look good with a little bit of contrast, but keeping the orange theme in the front. So if we can make the changes to the background in the front, on the front title page, and then giving me versions of the sound effects and the music mute button in orange to match the continue or play button, that would be awesome. And like I said, I'm going to probably try to squeeze in the music and mute buttons kind of like up here too, maybe even shrink them down just so everybody has access to this stuff. Other than that, I think, we're pretty good. I don't really see many other little changes that I want to make. I haven't gotten in the enemies that you give me. I'm just waking up right now. But I'm going to start putting them in. As far as art goes, that's like really... Oh, yes, one other thing. I was thinking about... and I don't know what your thoughts are on this. When you click this, I put, just to make sure that the player knew exactly what difficulty they were on, I would put this little blink behavior onto these buttons. I'm not 100% in love with it. I was thinking, I don't know, I was going to ask your opinion. I was like, could we do something that like maybe does like a little like blink, like maybe that kind of wraps itself around, almost how you have, let me put in easy mode here quickly, how you have on the bottom here, see how like that little shimmer on these springs, that little like zzz, 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 zzz. If we could get that, something like that to kind of go around this, just on the outside edge, just changing these animations, or maybe even have like the actual lettering itself kind of do that. I think that would look a little bit better than this just like kind of bland like drawing event blink loop that I put in here. I'm not like in love with it. Let me know what you think about that. If you think that this is fine the way it is, then it's fine. And then other than that, if you wanted to roll right into the music, while I got a video going here, I might as well get right into the music. I had said before, and I'll just reiterate, what I really wanted to do was I really wanted to use the music that we had done, or you had done for me for Space Race, the original, almost as a template for going forward. I'm completely fine if you wanted to like go back to those old tracks and redo them in a way that makes them a little bit longer. I think that those loops were pretty short. If we could maybe make them, I forget how well, I think they were like 30-second loops, and we could change them into like 45 to 50-second loops. And just use them as a really good starting off point for, the music in this game. If you think it's easier to just start fresh from completely new songs and go at it that way, I'm fine with that. But I was thinking maybe it might be easier to kind of speed things up if you took the old music and kind of just did remix versions of them, made them longer, added some extra little hooks and stuff, and then that would give us like 5 or 6 songs right off of the bat. I think that might be easier to work with. I'm fine with that. If you wanted to do everything from scratch, that's fine. But as far as the music goes, I would like 2 per level. So and then 1 for each boss. And just 1 boss theme. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the bonus worlds, I'll pick a song of the worlds, So like bonus world number 1 has the world has world 1's background in it, and I'll just use one of these songs from here. So we need 10 regular songs, world songs, and then just 1. So it'd be a total of 11 songs, 10 world songs, and then one boss song that I'll use for all the boss battles. And then once that's in, then we can do like a level up screen song. We'll have to do like a little jingle for the level up screen, and then we'll have to do a title screen song as well. So there'll be a decent amount of songs that we need. I feel like using 2 per world and then a unique one for the boss is important, just so people don't get too... we just did 1 song per world. By the time they get to world 4, they're going to just be burnt out of that song, So if we switch it, we did 1 song and the other song, and then back to the first song, and then back to the other song, and then a boss song, that should keep things fresh. And that's it, man. Let me know if there's anything you really see that you don't like. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying with the drawing event here. So I can beat him quick. I actually tried adding it. I might try adding in like a little bit of a border. So you're saying maybe try to add like a little bit of a blue border around the flawless. I'm going to play around with that. I actually did try to do a whatchamacallit, I tried to fill this in with some coloring. It just wasn't working. I had a couple of different colors in, and I did like a gradient effect, and it just didn't really look that great. I'm gonna try to stick with the white, but maybe do like a better border on it, just to kind of make this look a little bit better. But I kind of agree with you too. White does work. All right, man. We're getting really, really close. If we could do we'll stay with do all the art first. Like I said, all those tweaks to the title, and then once the title's nailed out, then we can go and work on maybe these buttons in here, making these look a little bit cool, make the activated animation a little bit better, and then I can get rid of this like static like blink that I made. And then everything is moving along really, really good, man. We're getting really close. All right.